I like to try things out. I like to try new products, new devices, new ideas, new methods for things. I don't just like to hear about it or read about it and go, oh yeah, that's probably how it is. I like to get out there and do the damn thing. So for about the past 100 days or so, I haven't been using a lighter to light my bowls. I've been using a flower vape, and I wanted to get an idea of the major differences of using a vape over a lighter for like a longer period of time. Sure, you can use it for a few days and go, oh yeah, that's nice, that's a little bit different, but I've been using it for like 100 days. There is a small exception. I did get hit with a hurricane at the end of September and my power went out, so I couldn't really use all my vapes, but I didn't do a ton of combusted hits. I think I did a couple of hurricane streams, and I used the last bit of battery in my e-rigs, and I did some dabs, but I did do a few combusted hits. But basically, for the past 100, I think 102 or so days, I can't remember exactly, 100 of those days I haven't used a lighter. But I like to experiment. If you remember, I did something similar in the beginning of the year where I did dabs only. I didn't use any flower for like 110 days. This is similar, but now I've been using concentrate vapor and flower vapor, and I'm here to tell my opinion about the difference between flower vaping and combustion for the most part. But I do want to say I am going to do some combusted hits tonight on stream, so if you want to see what it looks like to do some combusted hits after I haven't done them for a long time, tune into my Twitch tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, and link your Amazon Prime so you can give me that Jeff Bezos sweet money. But I wanted to talk about some of the main differences. I did make a follow-up video about vaping, but I just want to give out a few more points because I thought this was an interesting topic. So I wrote down some things that I noticed between smoking consistently and vaping consistently. So one thing I didn't really think about, and I didn't notice it until like maybe a week into vaping, but almost every morning I would just wake up with like a little bit of like phlegm in my throat. When I would smoke a lot, I'd wake up, I'd have to clear my throat a lot. I'd just be walking around the house. And then, you know, maybe an hour or two into the day, it would kind of settle. But that went away. It was very mild or very minor. It wasn't like a huge deal, but like that basically went away. I don't wake up with anything to clear in my throat. I don't wake up feeling like groggy or phlegmy or anything like that. I just feel fresh and ready to go. That was like one of the first things I noticed. So sure, taking big bong rips, you do get resin in your system like that. Your body does process it, but when you're vaping, there's less stuff left over. You're not leaving resin in your body. And something else I mentioned in another video is a common misconception with vapes is a lot of people think that you're going to use less flower when you're vaping. I use so much more. The hits are so much better. They're more tolerable. I can do them sooner. Like when I take a combusted hit, I need at least 5 minutes or so before I can properly take the next one. Otherwise, I'm going to compromise the size of the hit, or I'm going to be more likely to cough because I took it sooner. But with vaping, I can take the hit sooner than I can with combusting. I can take more hits, and it's like less taxing on my body. I feel like less affected in general, where I'm like ready to do more hits. I think in a 5-hour stream, I can easily get through more hits if I'm vaping them and combusting. That seems obvious, but I figured I'd have to say it. So a common misconception is people think you're going to use less with a vape. You're probably going to use more if you get a good one. One of the major things that I noticed, and if you've been watching my Twitch stream, I talk about this, but one of the major differences between smoking and vaping is you're going to notice the difference in quality through the hit. Like when you have really good flower, like a high cannabinoid, high terpene content, you're going to get big hits off the vape. When you just have some regular old run-of-the-mill mids, you're just gonna get a whatever hit. I've gone through a ton of different strains, and when you pack like a really good one, the hit is just so much more intense. It's a bigger hit. I'm inhaling more vapor. I'm exhaling a huge cloud compared to some of the lesser strains. But you really know which one is good. Sometimes I just pick up a few different 8s. When you combust a hit, you pack a 1/4 gram, you pack a 1/2 gram in the hit. Each hit is going to be the same size between the strain because you're burning all the plant material, you're burning all the cannabinoids or whatever. But when you go through and you're vaping different hits, you're using the same size bowl or whatever, but the hits that have more cannabinoids and terpenes are going to hit harder. You're going to notice a bigger hit. And big hits is where it's at for me. That was my qualm or my issue with herb vapes before, is I couldn't get a big hit, but now I can. So I'm out here finding the strains, finding the good stuff that gives me the bigger hits. And something that I've reinforced, I've been getting like cheaper, smaller buds at some dispensaries just to try it out. Some of them that have high cannabinoids just rip, bro. They rip just like if I paid twice as much for it and got the top shelf version of it. So if you find good strains, sometimes you're just going to save more putting it in the herb vape. Who cares if the bud's smaller or uglier if I'm just vaping the good portion off of it and leaving the crappy stuff behind? So I've talked about this before, but vaping does produce like a more clear-headed high. It's less like groggy, or you feel less stoned than you do. When you combust, you're getting a higher dose of CBN, and you just feel more tired or more like weighed down, or at least I do. I'm expecting that tonight, so if you tune into my Twitch stream where I'm taking my first rip in a while with a lighter, I'm expecting this to hit. So tune into my Twitch stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Let's see how high I get off my first combusted rip. Don't forget to link that Amazon Prime.